Huzzah!
La Adelita coming in with a 9-month primary sub. Thank you very much for the ongoing support there. Thank you. Half the fuel usage. Don't really care about fuel. Just import it from America. Like, part of the... Okay, so part of the thing here is... As long as I can keep my shipping lanes open, fuel is irrelevant. And in order to ensure that my fuel supplies remain strong, I need to keep the shipping lanes open. So as long as I have really good submarine hunters, I'm not too concerned. Which is why I'm trying to invest in them now. So the one downside that I'm seeing on the Hunt class is it's slow. 27 knots versus 36. 36 knots on the destroyer is really good. But is it worth 1,000 extra production? Probably not. Oh no, it's definitely not, because submarines suck. They're really slow too. How fast are subs? At the 1939 level. 12. Yeah, so the cruisers are a bit faster. I'm astonished by the fact that the Hunt class... Oops, that's the wrong way around, isn't it? No, Hunt's that side. I was astonished about something about the Hunt class and I've totally forgotten what I was going to say midway through. Torpedo attack I really don't care about, and that's the main advantage of the destroyer. Torpedoes aren't used in submarine hunting though. And honestly, I usually take torpedoes off my destroyers anyway. Torpedoes are capital ship killers. I just have really big guns to be my capital ship killer. Hunt has the better depth charge. 12 versus 10. Yeah, it is purely the speed, and I do kind of wonder if I can upgrade the Hunt engines. So, you're right.
Huzzah!
We are going to focus primarily on frigates. I'm assuming that frigates still count as a screen. Oops. Sorry. Yeah, they do. So I'll probably go frigates and light cruisers. That's another good question. Crown Colony. How much? 6,000. Okay. In that instance, destroyers are the better screens. Although, light cruisers for the detection, their surface detection is excellent. They have a lot better light attack. But it's basically 3 destroyers per light cruiser. And considering how many capital ships we have, we might need the extra destroyer coverage. Maybe. Depends how many frigates I can get. If I can get enough frigates out, I may not even need to bother with destroyers. And then I can just use light cruisers as the screens. Let's try that. Frigates, 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 frigates. Cool. Sorry, class heavy cruiser decommissioned. I don't. They're here. I can't build them at the moment because the naval treaty doesn't allow for it. Same with the towns. Like, I'd love to build some more town light cruisers because they are really good. So now that I've researched the better air detection, what are they called? Float planes. Yeah, it's just the K-guns. K-guns, then we start building frigates. Although I may just start building them now because the refit cost is going to be super cheap. So let's get bitterns. What's the I-class? Oh, Arethusa is the light cruiser. Very light. Yeah, that's a cruiser. Let's just start churning out bitterns. Wow, we are really going to be churning out bitterns. We can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them in construction at once. No, Germany, don't worry. There's absolutely no naval build-up going here at all. None. Nope. No naval build-up going on at all. Nada, zilch, zero. I think I may have actually miscalculated. Yeah, I can get 15. No, I can't. That's 9. Put me one more of each of those, and then you stay on unlimited. Go! Hey, Austrian. Okay, new construction projects are completed, so we should start our industry kick-started and get another research slot. Or we could start the industry going. Right now, we're actually basically having to start going ahead of time, which I hate doing. So I'm going to go for the industry. Oh my gosh, this is reducing the economic fatigue even further. Shadow scheme will make it go up slightly. So will you. Okay. The Midlands are the centre for industry. Large investments will reopen the northern economy to get people back to work. There we go. The majority of these guys are now drilled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the subs.
Huzzah!
Icon. Those are the little submarines. These are the big submarines. And the submarines are coloured red because it makes them go faster. And then I could start to mess around with these guys' complement. Actually, before I do that, I want to do the aircraft. So currently we're using more naval bombers, which is fine. Just to make you a round number. Oh wow, you can go up to 48. Which is the same as you. So you can have 28. Because you got double the fighters. No, light cruisers are going to be the anti-air. Don't need anti-air planes at sea. What is this rubbish? Completely unnecessary. Do I maybe want to start actually messing around with the surface fleet? I probably should at some point. But that can wait a little bit. Meanwhile, how are these guys doing? Your equipment is still very much struggling. It's trucks mostly. Not a huge amount I can do about that just yet, though. Basic industry. So now I can go 50% ahead of time, and I definitely want to do that for construction tech. Meanwhile, North London civilian factories are about to finish, but I think I can get more in. Yes, I can. Because we increase the capacity. And there we go. For some time, King Edward VIII has entertained hopes to marry the American Wallis Simpson. A constitutional crisis has now arisen, as Mrs. Simpson is not only divorced from her previous husband, but in point of fact is still married to her current husband, presently pursuing a second divorce. General outrage has ensued on the ground that the King, and being the head of the Church of England, Edward cannot marry a divorcee. The King, however, has made it abundantly clear that he is very much in love with Mrs. Simpson and intends to marry her regardless of the opinions of his government or his subjects. As such, there are only three options remain open to him. The British government and the government of the Dominions have already stated that any alternative to abdication would be unacceptable, and the repercussions of trying to force through a marriage, even an attempted compromise, would likely be dire, not only for Britain itself, but also for its ties to the Commonwealth. As the King's closest advisers continue their attempts to convince him, the public awaits with bated breath the resolution of this conflict between the King and his cabinet. If he will not change his mind, the King must abdicate. What's the funnest thing in the new focus tree? Honestly, the new focus tree looks identical to the old focus tree. So I have to be quite honest and say nothing. So whether I'm playing with an older version or something, even though I checked to make sure it was more up to date when I started. And we have like the officer corps and all of that enabled, so it's definitely the not one step back version. Should you not make Southern England anti-air? Not in 1936 I shouldn't. 36, 37 and even part of 38 is all about building the industry. There he goes. Prime Minister Baldwin made it quite clear that the dignity of the King Emperor will be impinged if he were to marry not just a commoner, but also a divorcee, and that was not bad enough, an American. After much soul-searching, His Majesty has chosen love over duty and chosen to abdicate. His younger brother, Albert, will assume the mantle of the King George VI. London bookmakers are already taking odds on whether the shy man will make it to his own coronation. George VI, popular figurehead, and we no longer get the weekly stability debuff. Which, actually, I don't think we lost any, because we had Steady As She Goes active. So our stability should be pretty safe. At first I found this really silly and liked Edward, but then I saw the movie King's Speech and I loved George VI. King's Speech is a great film. Funnily enough, like the night that I arrived in Stockholm, that was on TV. So I was watching that with Swedish subtitles.
Ready.
Although that is something which is kind of annoying about this television, because what I want to be able to do is watch stuff in Swedish with English subtitles. The problem is it doesn't have that capability. It's like you can have Swedish with Swedish subtitles, or you can have English with Swedish subtitles. You can't have Swedish with English subtitles though. So what I've been doing is I got the Wallander series on the laptop, so I've been watching Wallander with Swedish or with English subtitles. I'll probably do the same with Beck as well at some point. Just to kind of immerse myself in people speaking Swedish, but at least I can understand it because of the subtitles. It's a good way to learn. Sweden's just culture converting you should take a couple of months. Well, I hope I was worth the diplomatic power. Oh yeah, and apparently the naval mine's performance damage... Sorry, the naval mine's performance problems should be gone. Maybe I want to use mines. Not something I've done very often. Have I watched Broen? It's the best crime Sweden and Denmark have. I've not even heard of that. Sweden gained modifier, Mordred Viking, naval tradition +1 a year. Oh, I like that. Hey, Scooby Boy. I still need to choose my technology, right? What did I just finish? I don't know. Aeroplane? The biplanes? Start working on the Egret class. I don't want to front load this too much though. The other thing I do need to upgrade is anti-air. That's inexpensive technology though. Ah, get special forces. There we go, that's a 1936 tech. Good for you, Mordred. Do listen to Swedish radio programs as well. It really helps, I know from experience. Not as easy to do. Watching the TV stuff is easier. Because again, you get the subtitles. Yeah, Dredgy, let's not go there. I'm purposefully trying to keep things light. I've purposely not been playing Hearts of Iron because of comments like that, so let's stop that. Okay, so Reignite the Industrial Heartland is being made. Ah, we have 100 political power, so we can now get the Army Theorist. I'm going to bring in Harold Alexander so I can get that land doctrine cost reduction and also the army experience gain. Boom. Then after this, I'm hoping that we've kind of built up enough Navy experience. We're going to get a free boost to early mobilization. What I might actually... Germany, when are you going to start doing naughty things? Not for a while. Is this going on YouTube? Probably. Alright. Dredgy, you can bugger off. Not interested. Did I move to Sweden or is this an extended vacation? No, I have moved to Sweden. I now work for Paradox. I'm the community manager for Stellaris. Is this going on YouTube? Yes, it is. Most likely. Unless this series crashes and burns in the next 2 hours. 1 hour, 1 hour. Had no idea. Oh, yep. Yep. Moved here 3 weeks ago. Been a Paradox now for 2. Okay, so the motorized units are starting to see a little bit more experience. They're still very short in equipment, and it's going to be primarily, yeah, those trucks. Need more trucks. Trucks. The problem is, once I have the... Ooh, those are better tanks. Once we have the trucks done, I'm going to start producing too many. I don't think you can ever have too many trucks. Trucks are just one of those things that are just always useful. Do I want to start getting cruisers? Is this another thing I want to go ahead of time on? Well, actually, this is another question we need to decide on. Do I want to have dedicated tank divisions, or do I want to do my usual English strategy of just heavy tanks? Although England's going to have a gap of about 2 years before the Churchills come through. So I probably do want to get cruisers to help in France to basically plug gaps. And then we'll switch to Churchills. I mean, the other thing is to think about getting towards armoured cars, although not right now, obviously. I mean, Mark II Matildas are brilliant tanks. And we know from experience, fighting against Matildas as the Italians, it is really hard. Have you tried cider yet? The fermented juice thing we love. Have you gotten to know soft? Yeah, Britain knows cider. Which country is better, the UK or Sweden, be honest? I mean... I left one and went to the other? Is the lack of change on the tech tree due to World Ablaze? The lack of a change? Tell me what part of this tech tree is vanilla. And then tell me what version of vanilla you're playing, because it's not the same version I play. Matildas are slow. They're heavy tanks. Recommend the Crusaders. I mean, yeah, but that's quite a lot further down. Where are the Crusaders? There they are. I'm actually thinking Crusaders are down here. But they're not. I was thinking Centurion, not Crusader. I do really like my heavy tank divisions. Me, Mordred, the person playing with the keyboard right now, I like heavy tanks. I'm not a tank blitz player. So maybe having a couple of heavy tank supported divisions would be good. That's actually a good question. Can you add heavy tanks as a support template? That would be something that's quite nice, because they weren't always like a line thing. Need 25 heavy tanks for this. That's a few. Can you make super heavies as Britain for the lols? I don't really see any reason to do that. We did that recently, actually. thinking about it, we made super heavy battleships, which are basically just heavy tanks. Like land ships. Super heavy land ships, that was it. Anyway, I am using too few shipyards. Did I accidentally close the primary production? Maybe. Oh, it's the church bells again. Can you hear those? Because they're really loud. Let's get a couple more bitterns. Yes, okay. I would have been a little bit surprised if you couldn't. Alright, so we just got the townships and the Ark Royal to complete. In fact, the Ark Royal is the really long-term one. Especially as I'm not importing the 2 bits of chromium it's missing, but that's really not very useful. And I just realised you two are training just for the sake of training. Let's not do that. Let's stick you in Scapa Flow, which is the British submarine base. You meant the focus tree. I'm sure I'm playing with the most recent, because one of the things that was mentioned to me is that the UK has a new focus tree. Well, currently it doesn't. And I double checked that I'm running the most recent, as far as I know. Is there a way of seeing which version I'm running? I think this is just 7.1. Which I think is the most recent. You can make the Matilda 2 as a support. Ah, good to know. 7.1 to most recent I found on Steam. Yeah, I'm fairly sure that this is what this is. I'm hoping it says on the loading screen. Those bells are so loud. So where I am at the moment is like on just a regular road, and then there's a bit of a cliff face, and then at the top of that is a church. Not that you can really see what direction I'm pointing in here, but it's that way. Come on. I was going to say it doesn't say here, but we're not there yet. It says the version of the game. No step back. That's no step backs credits, not World Ablaze credits. It doesn't even say on the screen that it's World Ablaze. Which actually, now that I think about it, is a bit weird because it used to, didn't it?